Many of the fraud stories I've covered on this channel involve someone taking money from retail investors on social media. Today, we're going to look at someone who stole from a bank. This is Charlie Javice, and she sold her company to JP Chase. Except, there was a little problem. Charlie founded a company called Frank, which aimed to assist prospective college students with applying for FAFSA.
Getting financial aid might seem really complicated, but at Frank, we've really simplified it for you.
Every year, billions of dollars of aid are left on the table unclaimed, all thanks to the long, hard, and confusing process that is the free application for federal student aid, or FAFSA. Charlie's company, Frank, was the solution, giving students the opportunity to file their application in under 10 minutes.
We take a flow that might take hours with the federal government, and most students take 4 minutes with us.
Their online portal allowed students to fill out the application for free and be notified on how much federal aid they'd be eligible for. JP Chase, JPMC, heard about the company and its alleged 4 million users, and like a hungry shark in the water, started circling its next acquisition. Frank was able to raise $5.5 million for its seed round to get off the ground in March 2017. Frank was able to raise $10 million in their Series A round December 2017. In January 2018, TechCrunch released an article titled "Investors Are Pouring Money into Frank, a TurboTax for Student Loan Applications." Then they were able to raise another $5 million in April 2020.
Handhold people through the process in a scalable, sustainable way, and know that this is a company that stands for a positive mission where we could really get behind this.
JPMC wanted to gain access to Frank's user data as they believed it would allow them to market to aspiring college students. Their belief was that an acquisition of Frank would allow them to market their services to the alleged 4 million customer base. These students would possibly be needing bank accounts, debit cards, and other banking services in the near future. They believed that Frank was worth around $175 million. Charlie, with control of her company, saw a massive payday, so she took the deal. The only problem? The company wasn't worth anywhere close to $175 million. JP Morgan learned about protecting themselves from financial crime the hard way. I don't want you to find out about digital crimes the hard way, which is why I gladly partner with Aura for your online protection. When I first used Aura, I was impressed and horrified at how much of my personal information it was able to find and how many alerts were being sent my way. By scanning the deepest parts of the dark web, Aura finds and removes your personal information. This prevents scammers and hackers from getting their hands on your stolen passwords, emails, and social security numbers. I'm sure you've heard the horror stories in the news about identity theft, financial fraud, or getting hacked. I don't want that to be you, which is why Aura has the perfect solution for you and your family. Aura will identify data brokers that are exposing your information and automatically submit opt-out requests on your behalf, ensuring your digital safety. They'll even opt you out of junk mail and telemarketing lists. If you want an all-in-one service that monitors your identity and credit, gives you a VPN, password manager, internet parental controls, and protects your devices from malware, then check out Aura today for a free 2-week trial. Go to aura.com/Spencer to start your 2-week free trial by clicking the link in the description below or scanning the QR code. Back to the video. Javice stated that Frank had 4.25 million users, expressly defining a user as an individual who created a Frank account by entering a first name, last name, email, and phone number on Frank's website. Because Frank had been able to allegedly acquire this many customers in such a short period of time, JPMC saw this company as an emerging growth company in the sector they wanted to penetrate. Due diligence for an acquisition began in the summer of 2021. First task would be confirming the number of Frank's users. Frank claimed 4.265 million, however, they only really had 300,000. When JPMC asked for Frank's customer list data, Javice claimed that she would not provide it because of privacy concerns. While playing possum, Javice concocted a scheme with her chief growth officer to defraud JPMC with fake customer data. Javice, along with her chief growth officer, Olivier Amar, first asked Frank's director of engineering to create fake customer details using synthetic data techniques. In plain English, synthetic data is fake information typically created by computer algorithms. Charlie was about to hit the lottery. The only thing that stood between her and that sweet feeling of $100 million is just some 4 million rows in an Excel spreadsheet. The Frank engineer was not persuaded and declined to participate in the scheme, and instead said that he only would provide Javice with Frank's actual list of customer accounts, fewer than 300,000 customer accounts as of July 31, 2021. Just a little bit short of the desired customer amount, so she had a decision. Do you come clean about how many customers you actually have and drop the purchase price by about 90%? Or do you look for some alternate ways to make the deal pencil out? JPMC needed to see a data set with 4.265 million accounts, but Frank wouldn't provide it, so they agreed to have the data sent to a third-party vendor to verify. This started the clock on Charlie needing to find a way to produce a data set that included all of the data of users she claimed to have. Javice then turned to a data science professor at a New York City area college who advertised his creative solutions to data problems. Just like Japan, Javice needed 4 million people to just be created out of thin air. The complaint discloses the emails exchanged between Javice and the data science professor, which highlight how Charlie was clearly aware of the need to create fake data to reach the desired 4.265 million accounts. It's alleged that the chief growth officer had also reached out to a company called ASL, a marketing firm that purports to have the most comprehensive, accurate, and responsive data of high school students, college students, and young adults available anywhere. For $105,000, Amar was able to purchase a list of 4.265 million young adults that would fit the demographic they needed. The only problem? It didn't arrive on time. After some challenges in creating the desired data, the data science professor was able to create a list of fake customers utilizing a unique ID instead of email addresses for each. This was the list sent for analysis. Within 4 minutes of the third party completing the analysis, Javice directed the vendor to destroy the fake customer list. The third party vendor approved the data, which kicked off the purchase and sale of Frank to JPMC on August 8, 2021, with an expected close date of September 14, 2021. Before the close date, Javice allegedly told the data science professor to work with another third-party marketing firm to acquire additional real data to append to the list of names they acquired from ASL Marketing. JPMC acquired Frank to obviously market their services, so at some point they'd be sending an email blast to the list of Frank's customers. Knowing this, Javice knew she needed 4.265 million real emails to disguise her scheme. In January 2022, JPMC was ready to send the first email blast to its newly acquired customer base. The Frank team provided JPMC with a list of 4.265 million accounts composed of lists from ASL and the other third-party vendor. Unsurprisingly, the results of the marketing test campaign were disastrous. Specifically, JPMC sent marketing test emails to what it believed were 400,000 unique Frank customers. Of the individuals contacted, only 28% of emails were delivered, compared to a 99% delivery rate JPMC usually sees with similar campaigns. Just 1.1% of the delivered emails were opened, compared to 30% for a typical JPMC campaign. JPMC realized something wasn't right and performed a deeper dive into all of Frank's operations now that they were given full access to emails, communication, and the database. As expected, they realized they had been duped. JPMC paid $175 million for what it believed was a business deeply engaged with the college-age market segment with 4.265 million customers. Instead, it received a business with fewer than 300,000 customers. If the evaluation scales down proportionally, then Frank was actually worth around $12 million, so JPMC essentially overpaid for the acquisition by about $163 million. JPMC is alleging they were damaged by $175 million or more to be determined at trial. Javice allegedly is a resident of Miami, Florida, which seems to be a hotbed for fraud. She allegedly received approximately $9.7 million cash after the merger and was set to receive an additional $20 million retention bonus if she was still employed by JPMC following the vesting schedule. Committing blatant fraud that is easily trackable is one level of stupidity, but staying on as an employee with the company you just defrauded and a majority of your payout would be following a vesting schedule has to be another level of stupidity. Did she think they weren't going to find out? Olivier Amar, Frank's chief growth officer, was paid $5 million in cash and was set to receive a retention bonus of $3 million if he was still employed by JPMC following the vesting schedule. He allegedly also knew the data was fake, so why did he stay on as an employee too? He just defrauded his new employer and then was expecting to get away with it for a couple of years. The lawsuit also alleges that Javice lied about total website visits to Frank. She stated numerous times that they had received 35 million unique visitors, when in reality it was closer to 4.25 million. This is a question for the lawyers watching. The data professor that was hired to create all the fake data knowingly was creating fake data? Is he liable? If there's indication that the fake data would be used for an acquisition, which a reasonable person would expect the value of a company to be based on its real users, would he be an accessory to fraud? In total, there's 7 different claims, with 6 of them focusing on fraud. It seems like a pretty clear case of fraud on behalf of Javice and Frank. If there's one thing I've learned in this game as a YouTuber, it's to always reserve judgment until hearing both sides, because you never know what is missing from the plaintiff's argument. As of now, though, it appears pretty cut and dry. Thanks for watching.